Have you ever noticed something about your mind? You can finish a conversation, go home, lay down, and suddenly your brain starts replaying everything. What did they mean by that? Should I have said something different? Did I make the wrong decision? Did I miss something? And even when you tell yourself, stop thinking about it, your mind keeps going around and around and around. And here's the strange part. The people who struggle with overthinking the most are often the most thoughtful people in the room, responsible people, analytical people, and people who care deeply about doing the right thing. So the real question isn't, why do I think so much? The real question is, why doesn't my thinking stop? Because once you understand the mechanism behind that, overthinking stops feeling like a flaw and starts making psychological sense. Before this video ends, you will understand the real psychological mechanism behind overthinking, why intelligent people overthink more, the three fears that drive most overthinking, the difference between overthinking and emotional processing, and the internal conflict inside the mind that creates mental loops. And near the end, I'll show you a 2-minute mirror exercise that reveals which voice in your mind is driving your overthinking. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. Most people think overthinking means thinking too much, but psychologically, that's not accurate. Overthinking is thinking without resolution. The mind keeps revisiting the same problem without arriving at psychological closure. Trying to solve overthinking by thinking harder is like trying to scratch an itch from the inside of your skin. You keep trying, but the relief never comes because the problem isn't thinking. The problem is that thinking is trying to solve a problem that belongs in another system. Inside every person is a community of self. The mind has multiple voices. Inside every person is a community of self. In the GYG framework, we describe three primary voices: me, myself, and I. Me is the emotional self. Me asks, how do I feel? Am I safe? Do I matter? And do I belong? Me operates through experience and emotion. Myself, identity self. Myself asks, who am I supposed to be? What do people expect from me? And what kind of person am I? Myself protects self-image. I, decision maker. I ask, what am I going to do? Overthinking happens when me wants one thing, myself believes something different, and I cannot decide. So thinking tries to negotiate. Internal dialogue story. Check it. You send someone a message. They don't respond. Me says, did I do something wrong? Myself says, you should not need reassurance. Me says, but something feels off. Myself says, don't be needy. So the mind starts analyzing, replaying, and interpreting, trying to reconcile the conflict. The loop is overthinking. Most overthinking is driven by three fears. Fear one, fear of mistakes. People who feel responsible often analyze every decision because underneath the analysis is a belief. If I make the wrong choice, something bad will happen. Fear two, fear of judgment. Some people replay conversations because they fear being misunderstood. So the mind asks, what did they mean? Did I say something wrong? What are they thinking about me? Fear three, fear of loss. When something matters to you, the mind tries to protect it. So it scans, replays, and analyzes, trying to prevent the loss. Overthinking is like a security guard that never leaves the building. It keeps walking the hallway looking for a threat that may not exist. Thinking versus processing. One of the biggest misunderstandings about the mind is this: thinking and processing are not the same thing. Thinking asks, why, what if, and then, what does this mean? Processing. Processing asks, how did that affect me? What do I feel about it? And what does this experience mean for my life? Overthinking happens when the mind keeps analyzing what the heart has not processed. Example, Someone replays an argument all night, analyzing every word. But the real question is, why did that hurt so much? Until that emotional question is answered, the mind keeps analyzing. Window of tolerance connection. Overthinking is often a nervous system strategy. When the brain feels activated but not overwhelmed, thinking increases because thinking creates the illusion of control. Overthinking is like driving through fog. The brain slows down, analyzes everything, trying to prevent danger. Emotional trajectories. Certain emotions move toward growth, others spiral into suffering. Concern, problem solving. Anxiety, mental looping. Regret, learning. Guilt, rumination. Disappointment, adjustment. Shame, identity attack. Annoyance, communication. Anger, blame. Frustration, persistence. Intolerance, resentment. Remorse, repair. Self-hatred, collapse. The emotion you experience determines the trajectory your mind follows. The GYG system integration. Growth requires integration. Family. First, and most importantly, love yourself. Because inside every person is a community of self. Me, myself, and I. When those voices learn to cooperate, thinking calms down. IDC, intentional, deliberate, creative. Instead of reacting to thoughts, engage them intentionally. Think it, speak it, do it. Many people overthink because thought stays trapped inside the mind. When thoughts remain internal, they multiply. But when they are spoken, written, or acted upon, clarity increases. Devotion. Growth requires devotion, not occasional effort, but ongoing commitment to understanding yourself. Here's the mirror exercise. Pause the video for a moment. Ask yourself, which voice is loudest? Me, emotional fear, myself, identity pressure, or I, decision paralysis? Because the voice that dominates reveals what your mind is trying to protect. Some of the most thoughtful people in the world overthink because they care deeply about people, about consequences, and about doing the right thing. The goal is not to stop thinking. The goal is to help thinking serve life instead of life serving thinking. Overthinking is not your enemy. It is a signal. It is the mind saying something important needs resolution. The solution is not to silence the mind. The solution is to listen correctly. Because inside every person is a community of self. And growth happens when those voices learn to work together. If this helped you to understand your mind a little better, then you're already doing the most important thing. You're growing yourself. And that's what this community is about. If there's a psychological pattern, disorder, or concept you want me to go deeper on, put it in the comments. I will read them. I will build from them. Because this isn't just content. It's a learning community. And together, we're doing one thing, growing ourselves great.